This is my kidney. This is what does my work for me. This helps in the removal of excess potassium, but it also gives me calcium, things that the machine tends to remove. This puts back into me.
Ever since she was 9 years old, life hasn't been easy for Stephanie Bakari. Now 36, she has spent the last 27 years living with kidney disease. She had stopped growing at 9, was constantly sick, and had basically stopped eating. At first, doctors thought it was the flu, but after 2 years of testing, she was finally diagnosed with chronic renal failure. After a year on peritoneal dialysis and fighting through constant infections, she was in significant need of a kidney transplant. Following testing of family members, it was found her father was the only family member compatible for the transplant.
His arteries, or the connections they need, were a little bit bigger than mine, and they didn't know where to do it, if they should send me to the States or the Children's Hospital in Toronto. So while the doctors and the surgeons tried to figure that out, I got a cadaver donor.
Following the transplant and recovery period, the Montreal native, who was now living in Edmonton, enjoyed a year of relief from treatments until another infection caused more problems, and over the next 4 years, she would once again fight continual infections.
Usually they don't take the kidney out, it stays, but because mine was so infected, it burst and I got infected with the toxins in it. So they had to take it out and put me on PD.
Over the next 10 years, while back on peritoneal dialysis, she enjoyed traveling and even started up her own business, grooming dogs. But once again, the treatment stopped working and she was forced to begin hemodialysis, which meant being hooked up to a machine almost every day to help clean the blood. Thankfully, she was able to secure a home unit, which allows her to do the treatments at home rather than traveling to the hospital.
You have red, which is your arterial, and blue, which is your venal. And the dirty blood will go through the venous, or the arterial stage, and come through the venous and come in clean. I do about 4 times a week, but I do 8 hours while I'm sleeping. I'm in the comfort of my own home. I can eat what I want. Because you're doing 8 hours and the pump speed and the dialysate flow is low, your blood is filtering at a slower pace, so your body's not stressed. When you go for hours at the hospital, it does everything quickly and it's pulling off quickly, so your body goes through stress. So
after all she's been through, Stephanie tries her best to look at the positives in her life, but she admits it's not always easy.
It's hard. There are times where I'm thinking, geez, you know, like, just let me go, let me end my suffering. But then when I see things that I've accomplished and things that I can do, that suffering is swept away, and it's like, okay, I'm glad you didn't pull the plug type of thing, you know?
There's no way of knowing how long the treatments will continue to work, but for now, she's living day to day and isn't looking too far into the future.
My fistula lasted 6 years, and I don't know how long this will last. It could last a good 3, 5, maybe 10 years. So as long as I'm not in a critical condition, then for now, for me, the transplant is on a back burner. I'd rather let someone who hasn't had the chance to have one be on the list. I mean, this is fine for people who don't mind the work, but if you don't want to do all that, that's where the transplant is a little better that way.
To help support Stephanie and other kidney disease patients in the area, the Canadian Kidney Foundation is holding a Recycle for Life fundraiser. The foundation is seeking the donation of old vehicles, and in exchange, they will provide a free tow as well as a tax receipt.
With the Kidney Car program, the Kidney Foundation is trying to raise money for research so they can make organ donation better, so they can make people more aware.
For more information about the Recycle for Life campaign, call or visit their website. Reporting for Shaw TV, I'm Brendan Osborne in Kelowna.